Guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper left-hand corner, we have Flying starting as the red Zerg. Bottom right-hand corner, we got Byagster starting as the blue Protoss. This is BSL Hasuleague round of 32, Group D. Did I mention it was BSL 17? The number of hope. So, Series 1, Flying... Did Flying lose Series 1? I think Flying ended up losing Byagster Flying Series 1 in the opener with a Zergling all-in. Not sure why he opted to do that. Maybe just wanted to play off meta. At the same time, Byagster opened up with 2-Gate Zealot. Kind of interesting play both directions. This is on Invader, which... a little bit harder to execute 973 on this map, but I feel like otherwise it's not... it should be pretty even, I guess. I hadn't thought... I'll have to give it more thought. As far as... the one thing I will say is if you are Protoss, either player, you need to win it early. Because it's one of those maps where, okay, yeah, you can secure a third, but after you've secured your third, look how far away your stuff is. And look how open it is. Quick Scout from... Y is Quick Scout from Baya. And it looks like, interestingly enough... okay, we are going to see an overpool to start. I was a little bit surprised to see the pool not yet completed here because, especially on two-player maps, the potential probe harassment is immense. In the meantime, a Forge opener from Byagster. A little bit less popular these days. But Flying going to go ahead and move with the Drone Scout. I believe the timing of this will still be fine. But we'll see if Baya opts for a single cannon or not, but I think you can go Nexus Cannon here. He's going to drop double cannon just to be absolutely safe. Even though I think this is... if it was 9 pool, he would have been in a little bit more trouble. But with this, yeah, and actually it looks like Flying not even going to dedicate initial Zerglings. Just a pair of Zerglings to start, and Baya should have spotted that. Not going to cancel the cannons. And that's a bit of a mistake here, is he saw clearly that the spawning pool wasn't finished, and he saw the eggs morphing, but didn't get the cancellation on the cannons to buy himself some time for the Nexus. So going to be a little bit further behind than he might have been otherwise. Drone already in position to drop that third, the 12 o'clock. Overlord moving in position will be able to confirm the Forge positioning. Baya should be able to spot that fairly easily. The drone, yeah, able to sidle up before all of this. I would be surprised. I guess with the Forge opener, it might invite Flying to opt to go 973 a little bit more readily. Or some sort of Hydralisk, three base Hydralisk press in the early game. But given that the Drone Scout isn't wiped out and how awkward, you can see where it's a little bit challenging to engage from multiple locations. You don't have the nice open field outside of the cannon wall to engage with. So I'm wondering if that is going to dissuade him a bit, and he's going to go more towards the standard 4-hatch, or Spire, 3-hatch Spire, 4-hatch follow-up style of play. 4 Zerglings trying to corral. We do have some drones starting to filter in bottom right. Assimilator up in the meantime with the cybernetics core warping in behind. It looks like Flying is going to do kind of the old school... ooh, might have missed an Overlord here. Well, okay, so gets the kill. There was a brief period of time where it looks like he was slightly supply blocked. I don't think that's going to cost him much. Morphing the lair at the natural expansion, that is going to put Baya a little bit on guard. Because he... kind of, this is another advantage I hadn't thought about actually, is with... the probe can exit 2 directions. You can go to the north, yes, but there's also this lower ramp to exit across. Let's see if he takes that to get the additional scout. And so it's going to be challenging to deny the information of the lair. We do have a few additional Zerglings. If they grab position down here on that lower ramp, might be sufficient. I don't know if he spotted that probe exiting or not. The Overlord diving in is going to see the fact that there's no Stargate as of yet, so able to confirm the tech right there. But this is, yeah, tricky. The probe able to cycle all the way around and is going to be able to note, okay, yeah, it's lair tech as far as the follow-up. +1 weapons upgrading as well. And actually, if this turns into 3-base Spire, this is dangerous for Baya because it looks like he wanted to try to skip So he built an Overlord, or sorry, an Overlord. He built a Dragoon to try to snipe that Overlord, but he was going to try to go for a skip and drop gateways behind this. And he's looking at Spire. And this Spire could turn into a lot of, yeah, he's just going for Gateway Flood and wants to try to skip Stargate altogether. So, if Flying recognizes it and goes for Mutalisk play, that could be it. 5 Mutalisks and this is game over. And on top of that, so at the very least, he's not dedicated to the cannons at the natural. He's very unit light right this second. The Zergling's going to sweep in. They're going to make it all the way to the main. Wow, so they're going to be able to confirm all of this and see that early Gateway Flood and the complete lack of Stargate as well. So this is what, 1 Dragoon in range trying to be morphed here. So 2 creep colonies immediately being plopped down, and I want to see those 5 Mutalisks take flight immediately. An additional hatchery as well. But that should be it. Is just the Mutalisks in the air. Spire's finished. There's the 4 Mutalisk building. So we got 5 gateways now to pump units. +1 weapons is going to finish. I missed the Zealot able to sneak in. It's half second later. It looks like it's going to be able to get a few drone kills. But I don't think that's going to be sufficient to save anything. Dragoon and 2 Zealots making their way out to try to buy time, but there's no cannon at the natural. There's no cannon at the main. Maybe he's just going to try to defend it with just pure Dragoon, but honestly, with a large enough Mutalisk stack, it's not sufficient. Mutalisks can very easily oftentimes overwhelm the Dragoons, but it looks like that's the plan, is go for a Dragoon defense. And trying to buy some time by tossing some units out here, but this might be a legitimate Dragoon build. I don't know. Looks like Dragoon range, yeah, to follow. I haven't seen this before, to be honest. Just pure Dragoon defense to deal with the Mutalisks. More often than not, this will be sufficient, and throw in a couple Zerglings. But maybe this is a timing that's going to work out. We got a 20 supply lead, a bunch of Dragoons on the front, some creep colonies defensively, and Flying down 20 supply without a lot of defensive attack units. With Baya on the doorstep, marching a lot of the units out, so never mind everything I said earlier. It is a Dragoon range timing build that I am just not aware of or used to. Hydwellsten and Sunken Colony easily going to get picked off here, and it's going to pay off. They got +1 weapons as well. Yeah, everything I said presumed that you have Dragoons like walking all over themselves, trying to micro through their own SimCity, but when they get good spread and can just hold position like this, you can see trying to go for the angle. The Zerglings making their way out. Also, given that if it's a bad turn rate, this might have been a pretty clever play as well. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be overwhelming amount of Dragoons now at the natural. Part of me wonders if this is like a turn rate, like a low turn rate build where if Mutalisks were easier to micro, it might not be quite as effective. But worker count actually even, but the natural expansion looks like it is going to fall. So a clever, interesting build here. The Mutalisk count continues to grow. There's still a good amount of health, though, on both the natural and the lair. Yeah, and you can see how challenging it is for Flying to micro the Mutalisk against this. And the Zerglings coming out somewhat late as well. The combo with the Zerglings and the Mutalisks might be sufficient. He does have to engage this. Yeah, starting to peel away, but yeah, the Dragoons with the +1 weapons able to micro an open field and fight this off, and I think that's going to be GG. So ignore everything that I said in that early mid-game. Flying going to be taken out by a massive gateway flood of Dragoons. Zerglings now sweeping out. Flying still trying to make a match of it, but I think there's just too many. Yeah, they're slowly battle drone. Wiping things out. Walking it back. Still 10 Dragoons remaining, and yeah, just not sufficient. Overwhelming. Go figure, and Armor 1 about to finish. Overlord exposed as well. Yeah, things not looking good for flying here in game 1. And just ignore it. I wonder why that egg took attack priority right there. By maybe intentionally attacking it so he has more surface area to work with here. And again, just kind of doing the walk back versus the Zerglings. The Zerglings still not able to get an efficient surround. And Zerglings in equal numbers against small groupings of Dragoons do very, very well, or in mixed units where the Mutalisks end up overhead, but a Zealot or two, honestly, 5 or 6 Zealots, and this is game over, and Baya still can just move up with these Dragoons that he has and attack the natural. I'm kind of wondering why he's hesitating right this second, maybe worried. Flying, holding on the 3 bases right now, and Baya, I mean, he needs to, this is one of those plays where he needs to go and make it happen. Maybe just waiting for the Zealots to join the attack force, so he doesn't have to worry about the Zergling counter. It's also giving flying some time to get some Mutalisks fielded, but still a massive supply lead for Baya. Counterattack of a few Zerglings walking all the way. And that might just be the problem with Invader, walking all the way through and not getting up. Okay, it looks like they are intentionally making their way towards the 3rd to try to deny that. Man, that's a bad cast for me. The Mutalisks now able trying to sweep across, but Baya going for the attack at the natural expansion. And that should be it for the natural, and I think that's going to be GG. So one of the hatcheries down, that layer going to be gone as well. The Mutalisk's not sufficient. And this is just going to be way too much. So this is base, now 2 base versus 2 base. Should be an easy production victory here from Baya overall. Looks like Flying's still going to try to do what he can with it. Produce as much as he can. Makes sense since this is a final match. Zerglings, unfortunately, on a miss rally, walking the way across, and it looks like the counterattack wasn't able to halt that Nexus. So now it's going to be 3 base versus 2 base, which puts Protoss way, way ahead as soon as that's saturated. And by continuing to pick fights, there's GG. That's the first time I've seen that executed. I've seen attempts at it and it not work out, but well played from Byagster. We're going to move into game 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.